Hey everyone. So it's Tuesday. It's the 2nd of August. It's the second day of the trading month. It's month 8 out of 12 on the 2022 year. And we've had another good day, another green day, another good green day. Today we're a little bit shy of $24,000 in trade profit. We only traded 2 stocks. We traded AMTD Ideas Group. Now, you probably heard the name AMTD over the last couple of days. That's because this is the sister or parent company of AMTD Digital. AMTD Digital trades under the ticker of HDK, and this is the stock it's absolutely gone mental over the last week or 2 weeks. It started off last month, $13 when it opened. It's a special acquisitions company, and it started off with at $13. And the last I checked, it had moved up at a high of $2,600 today. So $2,600, or just shy of $2,600, from $13 to $2,600. Huge gain. So it's like 20,000% or something along those lines. And I was kind of traded this on Friday, managed to make 10,000 on one bull flag breakout move, and the volume is very low. The spreads are huge. I mean, we're talking absolutely huge. They are now, particularly because we're now in the out of hours session. But as I sit here today, talking, recording this video, the spreads on HDK are over $200 between the bid and the ask. And the spreads didn't get that close, if I'm being completely honest. They didn't close up as much as I would have liked them to do, so that I could trade it today. But absolutely mental. So HDK up to nearly 200% on the day. But we didn't trade that. AMTD Digital was HDK. AMTD Ideas Group, which owns approximately 58% of the float of AMTD Digital, that moved up in sympathy. So it moved up in huge amounts. It was up 590%. This moved up today, 592% to be precise, and the majority of that pre-market. And we caught a huge portion of that, and then we got the gap and go move at the bell. We also traded QRTEB retail again, and we made $3,000 out of QRTEB retail. Very volatile, big moves, but huge spreads, so high risk, and it just wasn't comfortable trading that. So we took our $3,000 and went. What I'll do is I'll show you the AMTD Idea Group trade, and you can always go and check it out in real time on the recorded session, the live recorded session from this morning as well, if you want to. But in real time, so we've got AMTD Idea Group under the ticker AMTD. We saw that this was moving up. Now, I'm not, as I keep saying, that my broker doesn't permit me to trade before 7:30. There are brokers that will allow you and permit you to trade from 4 a.m. when the market opens from the early session. There are some brokers that won't allow you to trade pre-market at all. Now, I've been trading with Capital Markets Elite Group, and they permit me to trade from 7:30 a.m. So I was watching this in conjunction with HDK, which is the AMTD Digital Group. And the reason I was watching this was because of its connection. So it started trading up. It was up huge amount, over 200% already when I saw it pre-market. So we got this little bull flag pullback and then a breakout. And that's where we entered our first trade here. And we took some profits on the way up. and then we exited as we made a new low. So this candle here made a new low, and that's when we exited the position in its entirety. So we'd already made some good progress there. A bit choppy, bit consolidating there. Then we got this breakout here, and we entered here for the break of $9, and we're able to ride this up before we get stopped out on this candle here. So not so much stopped out, or we stopped ourselves out. Stops don't work pre-market, but if you're thinking in the idea of having a stop and it reaches a certain level, you get yourself out. So then it moved up even further, and we got in here on this candle, excuse me, and we added at the top of here. It did pull back, but we're still holding the position. So as it made a new high here, we added to our position and rolled this up, and we took profits up at the top, and we exited the position for the new low on this candle as we started to pull back. And then we got in again here, and we rode this all the way up, and we at this stage we were about 10,000, just shy of $10,000 up on the day, and then we made a couple of dodgy trades on the way back down between here and here, and that cost us, and we lost about $4,000. So we were coming in towards the bell. We were about $6,000 up on AMTD, and I don't mind that when a stock moves up heavy before the bell in pre-market, I don't mind it retracing, coming back towards the VWAP, and as long as it's on lower volume, this retracement, you can usually find that that you get good volume comes in. If it's got a decent catalyst, you get good volume comes in, and we get what's known as the gap and go. So we were gapping up quite heavily pre-market on AMTD idea group. As we got in, a little bit of a pullback before then shooting up, and we'd already marked out the key area of $11. So if I just pull back in the pre-market, we've marked out here $11. What we can see here is $11. It pulled back to $11 before moving back up. So you found $11 as support there. You found it pulled back to $11 here. So not absolutely spot on to the cent, but $11 was the support area. It pulled all the way back to $11 here, and then we found it was using $11 as a resistance and our support. So $11 was a key area. And we marked that pre-market, we marked that on the chart, and as we broke above $11 here, that's when we entered, and we entered our position, and we doubled down as it moved up, broke 11.50, and then as it moved up, we took some profits at 12, the whole dollar, and we set a trailing stop, a 50-cent trailing stop. It went all the way up to a high of 12.90. And then on its way back down, we got stopped out with the trailing stop. So that put us up quite substantially on the day. We were, at the time, I think about $14,000 up on this one stock. And then we switched over to QRTEB. Now, QRTEB was kind of difficult to trade. It was very, not kind of, it was very difficult to trade. And the reason it was so difficult to trade, and it was around the 10 o'clock market time, the reason it was so difficult to trade was the spreads were huge. The spreads were extremely, ranging. They were going from 5 cents to 35 cents, 50 cents at some occasionally as well, which it meant that getting a trade on this and managing your risk at the same time was incredibly difficult. So I got in here for the break of $20, and it moved up. I didn't take profit because I was looking for a bigger move, and it pulled back. And I've taken 5,000 shares, and it pulled back quite substantially. And then it moved back up again and pulled back again. And with the spreads, I was very often finding myself when it moved up that I was getting caught between the spreads, and I was unable to exit the position for a profit. But when I was pulling back, I was finding myself in serious, red terms on the trade, and just having the patience and the sheer will to hold through this choppy backwards and forwards before it then moved up, and we managed to get 3,000 up. I took a I took the position. We didn't get the top of the move because of the spreads, but we took the profits and exited the entire position because it was just so difficult to manage the risk. I think we were risking about $8,000, $9,000 just to make the 3,000 that we did. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio against, which is terrible risk management. But it worked in our favor on this occasion. Not something I would advise anybody else to do. It's unless you know what your plan is and what your target is. To hold and be patient to hold through all of that is very risky. It could quite easily have gone against me. I was prepared to lose $10,000 on that particular trade, and I knew I wasn't going to make $10,000. So as soon as I got into the trade and the way it started to behave, I knew that it wasn't in line with my strategy. So I thought I'd get out at the earliest profitable opportunity, which I did, and got out for a little over $3,000. We did come back and we traded AMTD digital a little bit later. So as you saw, we got this huge sell-off into a halt, and it started ranging below the VWAP, ranging sideways. I went and walked the dog after I finished trading QRTEB retail. I walked the dog, and I came back and it was just coming into that kind of the lunchtime area. And this is where we came back. We got this huge move here, and it was a huge pullback here. And then it started to move up. We got a pullback, and this is where I got in here. And we were able to get in, I think it was 817, and we were able to ride that up to 882. We got exited on that one. We took some profits along the way. But then we were half the position, remaining position. We got stopped out on a big flush down, and we got stopped out. So happy enough that we put the stops in place. We were using trailing stops. I was using 50-cent trailing stops. Then I was using 30-cent trailing stops. My 50-cent trailing stops took me most of the way up here, and I actually took some cancelled that. Took some positions off as we were getting closer to the $9 level, and I put a 25-cent trailing stop in place instead, and we got stopped out on this pullback here. So that was a really good portion. That took me over $20,000 to the good on the day with AMTD. But as we broke the VWAP, I got in again, and I went in decent size. We came back to the VWAP, tested its support, and as we broke up here, made a new high. I entered a position. We had 10,000 shares. It came back. I held, and I took some profits up here. We were $26,000 up on AMTD, and then I took some profits up at the here with $26,000, and then as it came back down, I took a big size here, and it went against me. So we got kind of faked out. I took 10,000 shares here, and it went against me, and I lost some there. It did pull all the way back, and watching this, I'm thinking, okay, next candle to make a new high. I was a little bit slow to the entry here, so I got in here just 872. And then it pulled again. So we ended up losing $6,000 across those two particular trades. We lost nearly $6,000 off the high. So giving back to the market, and this is what happened yesterday as well. So we got to nearly $30,000, just over $29,000 yesterday, and I gave back $9,000 to the market. Now, granted, I traded Revlon for an extra $2,500, but giving back, but once you start giving back profits to the market, it's probably time to say, okay, you've outstayed your welcome, it's time to go. So I locked my montage after that, and I didn't trade again. Came into the power hour, and we were looking at the live streams in power hour, and I didn't trade in power hour. I was very tempted. My montage was locked. I unlocked it with 5 minutes to go of power hour, and then I realized what time it was, and didn't trade. So I managed to get just shy of $24,000 up on the day. Now, I said yesterday, volatility is back. I said yesterday that, you know, whilst the volume hasn't yet followed it for the reliable and clean parabolic moves, it's still very choppy on the way up. We're getting the parabolic moves, but they're still very choppy. So, you know, and I've been that person, there are still some people that can see something like AMTD digital, put this on a 15-minute and zoom in. It's some people that can trade AMT digital on the way up pre-market and still end up red on the day because of the way that it was moving. And the same thing with HKD. You don't want to be trading that, absolutely not. We look at something like APDN, so applied DNA science, extremely volatile. Applied DNA science up 690% across the day. Huge parabolic mover. But you can see how choppy it is. To trade a stock that moves up 690, nearly 700% on the day and still finish red. There are people out there that are doing that, and through no real fault of their own, other than bad trading. And I've been that person. I've been that person. So risk management is absolutely key, which is why keeping your sizes relatively low pre-market and keeping your eyes glued to the screen for those movements. I got caught last week with Tough Built on a $3,500 move. A flush or over a dollar, whole dollar flush down, and I was in for 2,500 shares, and it cost me $3,500 for this flush down. And that's because there are no safety nets. Pre-market, there's no volatility halts, there's no stop losses don't work, etc. So you have to be careful. If you're trading out of hours sessions, pre-market, after hours, you have to be glued to the screen. You have to be ready to react, and you have to react quickly, which is why hotkeys or hot buttons are very important if you're going to be day trading in the out of hours sessions. However, that being said, volatility is back. Volatility, 2 consecutive days, over $20,000 of gains. That's 4 times my daily goal, almost 5 times my daily goal today, 4.5 times my daily goal yesterday. Really good week last week. Volatility is back. Volatility is back in abundance, and long may it continue. As some of the stocks are difficult to, but whilst we've got low liquidity on them, whilst we've got low volume on them, some of these stocks are very difficult to trade with the spreads, but some of them are absolute peaches. And if you can get on them while they're moving and moving up, you get on the halt, and the halt up, they're actually gapping up like 50, 70, 80 cents, a dollar. So if you're in there for 1,000 shares, just say 1,000 shares, and it moves up $3 in a gap, you're halted up and it moves up $3. You made $3,000 on that one move. It really is great to be trading the markets with volatility again. Let's just have a look at some of the top movers today. So applied DNA science, you can see how much that's moved up. And as I'm kind of sat here, it's currently high of day up at it's up at 525, trading at 525s in the after hours session, and that's 700% on the day. If we look at AMTD, the majority of the big moves were pre-market, but you can see it still moved up, and we had this high of $13 in the regular session, pulling back a little bit, but still extremely volatile. We had this mental move, and it's been mental since the last couple of weeks. So this was $13. Let's go back onto the daily chart here. So this was $13 on the 15th of July, so a little over 3 weeks ago. $13. This opened for trading. It's now trading at 1,679. Today's high during the market session was $2,555. Mental. The move on this is absolutely mental. So just think about that. You could have taken a 1,000 shares on this back in, and it would cost you a little over $13,000. So for less than $15,000, you could have taken 1,000 shares a little over a fortnight ago. And if you'd held them through the whole of this process, you'd have had a couple of million. You'd have had a couple of $1 million. That's what this actually means. You wouldn't do that, of course. You can't really trade this intraday at all. The moves, just the volume on the 1 minute on the lower time frames just isn't there. So you just can't trade that. You just can't trade it. It's nice to watch. It's nice to fantasize. What if? It's entertaining if nothing else, but it's just, you just can't take the risk. The risk far outweighs the reward. You can blow up your account trying to trade something like this. You really can. The moves are just not reliable, and the spreads are absolutely huge. Right now, as I'm talking to you, they're over $200, the spreads between the bid and the ask. So that means right now the ask is currently 1,848. 1,848. And the bid is $200 lower. So it would have to get over $2,000 again, $2,100, just to break even, given those kind of spreads. So not really worth the risk, not at all. Now, Intelligent Living Group moved up huge amounts today. Intelligent Living Group up over 90% on the day. We had Austin Technology Group also up over 100% on the day. We had 36KR Holdings. This moved up over 50% on the day. So huge gains across the day. We had Liberty TripAdvisor during the open hours session went up to $93, nearly $94 on the day. So huge, absolutely huge moves. When you think that this closed yesterday at $48 and it went up to $93, so 80–90% move. So parabolic movers across the board. You're kind of spoiled for choice today in terms of what you're going to trade, where you're going to make your money. But if you got greedy, you can see the moves moved up fairly quickly and then quickly moved back down again. They sold off. So you didn't want to be caught holding bags up here at $90. Absolutely not. So what I would say is on days like today, moments when the market's behaving so erratically, so volatile as it is right now, you make your money. You get in, ride the momentum up, get out, do it quickly, make your gains, hit your goal, walk away. It doesn't matter what else is moving. It doesn't matter if something else moves in the day. If you miss it, you miss it. There'll be something else tomorrow. Don't get trapped in FOMO. Don't hold on too long. Make your gains, take profits along the way. Nobody ever goes broke taking profits. Just remember that. And if you can, trade with the trend. If it's trending above the VWAP, that's what you want to be seeing. So all that being said, let's have a quick recap. $23,991 today. So I'm going to round that up just between friends. I'll give you a tenner and we'll round it up just between friends, and it's $24,000 a day. Just under $23,000 yesterday. So we're just shy $47,000 across the first 2 days of August. I've set myself a goal at the beginning of the year to have a 7-figure year. So the way I worked that out in my head was, okay, if I can have $100,000 of trade profit per month, so that would have to work out based on the $84,000 net profit I would need per month to have a net 7-figure year. So that was my thinking behind it. And to have $100,000 trade profit based on an average of 20 trading days per month, I would need $5,000 per day. The first 2 days, I've absolutely smashed that goal. In fact, the first 2 days were very close to halfway through our monthly goal in August. So if we keep the volatility the way it is, if we keep performing and trading the way we've been trading this last couple of days, in the last week even, then I'd be very interested where we can finish in August. We had my second best ever month in July. We had my second best ever month in June. I know that sounds strange. How can you have 2 second best ever months? But June was my second best ever month. And then along comes July and we eclipsed it by $1,000. So that then became my second best ever month in trading. So $163,000, just shy of the $166,000 I did last May in 2021. which is my best ever trading month. And I'm kind of thinking, if we can have regular $20,000 days, $160,000, $166,000, $170,000 across the course of the month is just going to be small fry. If we can have $20,000 days, we're going to have close to $500,000 on the course of August if it petered out that way. Now, I'm not stupid enough. I'm not fantasized enough or green enough or whatever it is that you want to say to believe that that's going to happen. We've had 2 really good days. I would like to think that this green streak will continue. We've had 11 green trading days in a row. We've got 3 more days this week to equal our year's longest streak. And all the signs are pointing to green. The road is green ahead. That's all I'm looking for. I'm feeling very bullish. I'm feeling like I need to be cautious, because when I've felt like this before, we've had big green periods, big green long streak or a big green day, it's followed by a big red day. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to be very careful with my risk management in the next couple of days. I want to get to the end of this week, equal that 14-day green streak. If we can get to the end of this week, I'll see if we can extend it and make 15 days next Monday. But if we can get to the end of this week and we're close to 6 figures on the month, which is not too far away, $47,000 on the week, on the month right now. So if we can do another 45, 15,000 a day in the next 3 days, that will pretty much be the month done. And I was thinking of going on holiday for the last week of August and first week of September, and that will just pretty much cement it for me anyway. If I can get the month's goal ahead of time, why not? So anyway, I'm waffling, I'm talking too much. We've had a really good day, really great start to August, enjoying the volatility. It's thrilling. Not so much in a heart racing, scared about losing my equity, but it's kind of like thrilling in the same way that you'd be in heads up at the final of a poker tournament. You're trying to beat the opposition. You know that you've got the possibility to do it, but you also know that there's risk involved, that you could come away with nothing. And that's the kind of thrill that I'm experiencing right now trading. And long may it continue. So when I say long may it continue, that means I'll be doing it again tomorrow. What time? I'll be trading live. I'll be on streaming my trading live 90 minutes before the market opens. I'll be trading 2 hours before the market opens, permitting, setups permitting. But I'll be streaming it live on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Twitter. And I'll be doing it from 8 a.m. East Coast or market time. I'll be doing it from 1 p.m. In Dublin, in Ireland, or anywhere in the UK for that matter. I'll be doing it 2 p.m. Anywhere on the continent of Europe. So if you fall into those time zones, that's what time I'll be starting and streaming my live trading. If you fall in a different time zone, work it out for yourself. But whatever you do, make sure that you come join me tomorrow. And if you want a reminder, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll get a reminder when I'm actually going live. In the meantime, give me one of those, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you soon.